What's going on YouTube? Zap here, and today I have some news in regards to Killzone Shadowfall, multiplayer details, single player details, and some spec related details as well. So without any further hesitation, let's go ahead and get into it. First, VG247 or VG247 has announced details of the season pass. Uh, uh, there will be 2 competitive multiplayer maps, which will be released for free. 6 expansion packs are also planned. It says you can save money by purchasing the Killzone Shadowfall Season Pass for $15.99, which is in pounds. I'm not sure how much that is in American currency, but that's actually not a really bad price if I remember correctly. But the online expansion pack, has an online co-op expansion pack which focuses on the team play and intense combat. The online co-op expansion adds a new cooperative game mode in which you and up to 3 online friends will survive against impossible odds. So basically it's like a horde mode or a firefight mode in which you combat wave after wave of enemies just in the Killzone universe. I'm pretty sure there'll be like a little bit of a spin to it. It says here that there is going to be a unique leveling system as well as unlocks for this particular game mode. There are also going to be 3 online co-op packs, and each map pack has 2 brand new arena maps you can play in co-op mode with your friends. Please note that these arena maps will only work with the online co-op expansion pack, so just keep that in mind. They also include 2 additional multiplayer expansion packs. They have not gone into detail about the multiplayer expansion packs, but they said that they will release those details once we get closer to Killzone Shadowfall's actual launch date. It says that if you get the Killzone's season pass, you will also receive access to an exclusive OWL combat drone skin and a unique multiplayer spotlight move. So I guess spotlight moves are like executions or something like that. I'm not entirely sure, but we'll see how this pans out. And if you want to check out Killzone Shadowfall multiplayer trailer, feel free to do so. I'll leave a link in the video description below. You can check that out. And regarding more of the multiplayer, BG247 also announces that Killzone Shadowfall multiplayer will have dedicated server. Now there's a little bit of a twist in there. I know a lot of you are going to be super excited to hear that Shadowfall will have dedicated server, but there's a little bit of a twist to it. The servers will act as a hub between different game clients, and any game logic will not be hosted on the servers. Now here's where things start to get tricky. Almost all logic relating to you, which would be like moving, shooting, and taking damage, runs on your local PS4. However, with only a very small portion of the game logic, which would be the missions, the scoring logic, running on the session master. The session master is another way of saying the host. One PS4 in the game selected for its connection quality. So, to a certain degree, there is still a host in Killzone Shadowfall. However, the host will only be pushing out, you know, details like the score and the missions. Like if you were to play Warzone, Warzone is a collection of all the different game modes combined into one match. Alright, so the session master or the host will be loading all of these details and distributing all that data to everybody else during the match. Whereas all the other things such as moving, shooting, and taking damage runs off of your PS3. Okay? This means that people with slower internet connections will have a better, keyword better, time playing the game than if matches were player hosted. Of course, satisfaction is never guaranteed when you miss disastrous formula of lag and competitive play. So, will these be considered true dedicated servers? In my opinion, no. However, it is a big improvement. Well, not big improvement, but it is a step up from the horrendously laggy and oftentimes not fair conditions that we were forced to play under with Killzone 2 and Killzone 3, in which you could get killed by a laggy player because they sponged a lot of bullets, or often some of the worst deaths occurred because you were shooting at a body that wasn't really there, and you just got BS. You guys who play Killzone 2 and 3 know what I'm talking about. So those are the details on the dedicated servers. I'm kind of like wishy-washy on that. I'm hopeful, but at the same time, I'm not really caring that much. As long as the game runs smoother than Killzones 2 and 3, I'll be happy with that. Now, Killzone Shadowfall multiplayer runs at 60 frames per second a lot of the time. Single player runs at a solid 30 frames per second. Now, a lot of you may be focusing in on the a lot of the time portion of that sentence. Now, let me go ahead and get into this. Graphically, single player is even a step above the multiplayer. There's even more destructibility. We analyze what 60 frames brings. 60 frames in multiplayer is really important because your reaction time is a lot shorter. In single player, it's actually a lot longer. It's not because our AI is stupid, but because you simply have more time to react. We said we didn't need 60, and we want the graphical push. So basically, what Killzone Shadowfall, what Eric Bolches, I'm not sure if I pronounced that name correctly, but Eric Bolches, who is the lead designer of Killzone Shadowfall, is saying that in single player, the graphics look far more amazing, or they look a lot more stellar compared to the multiplayer's graphics, which we've seen in a lot of games nowadays. But in order to keep the graphics at an all-time high for single player, they lowered the frame rate, or kept the frame rate at what is our standard currently at 30 frames per second, which is not bad. But for going into the next gen, many of us were expecting, or are expecting, many of our games to run at 60 frames per second. Me personally, I don't really care that much, but they're saying that with the fast and forever moving pace of a multiplayer match, they downgraded the graphics just slightly to accommodate for 60 frames per second. Now, a lot of the time, quote unquote, a lot of the time it'll run at 60 frames per second. You might see a couple frame drops here and there, so it'll probably go between 60 down to 55, down to 50, and back up to 60, depending on what's going on screen. But Killzone Shadowfall's multiplayer, with a little bit of a downgraded graphical push and multiplayer, will run at 60 frames, whereas the single player will run at very high resolution, very detailed graphics at 30 frames per second. So that's what we got to look forward to with Killzone Shadowfall. Let me know what you guys think about this game. I personally am looking forward to playing this game for the first time, getting some gameplay footage up for you, giving you guys my thoughts, my opinions, my review on it. It is probably the only shooter that has me excited for next gen, and it's probably the only shooter I'm going to play within like the first year of next gen, because personally I don't really play shooters like that anymore. But let me know what you all think. I hope you guys enjoyed this news, and if there's anything that you would like me to cover and give my opinions on, please leave a comment in the comment section below, and I will try to give you guys as much next gen news as I possibly can to help diversify the channel up a little bit more. But thank you guys for watching, and enjoy the rest of the match. Peace.
Clock's ticking, soldier. Move it. Intruder's ready for immediate evac. He's in. Get the hell out of there. Outstanding work, men. The Hellgas won't forget you anytime soon.